Welcome everyone. Let's start today's session. So we have listed three topics today. One is Hsm template, another one is interactive messages, and the third one is triggers. So I'll be sharing my screen and showing how we can create these and use it in our flows. If you have any questions, please interrupt me in between. So we want it to be an interactive session and answer more and more questions if you have. Let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we'll be starting with Hsm template. So we call these templates. Here from left pane we can access it. So as we know that there are session messages limit of 24 hours, we can send messages to our contacts from a WhatsApp within 24 hours after they sent us a message. Once the 24 hour is complete, we will not be able to send them messages. And for that, WhatsApp has provided which we call Hsm, which a pre-approved content from WhatsApp, which we can submit for approval to WhatsApp, and after approval, we can use them to send basically nudge messages or other informative messages to our contacts. So to create Hsm template, you need to click here templates, then you will see all the list of templates we have. Means on your platform what you have created. It has three options like approved ones and which are pending for approval and which are rejected, right? So to create a template, we click on create template. We can select a language from here and we can give a title of an Hsm template. I'll say test Hsm training, and I'll say the content of the template, say hi. So the syntax of this is that whatever variables we are giving, we give it in these brackets. So all the text is also mentioned here. And it simple sample message. And the similar message is for the template. This is the condition of the WhatsApp, that how we can submit it. So here we will replace the variables with the exact name and say some name for an example. And you can see how your template will look like here in the left and the right side of in the simulator. We can have buttons also created, and each one option will have a help text to know what is called affection and what is quick replies. We can select and make this Hsm as a button template also. Then there's a category which kind of Hsm template will be here. We can select as per our need, like it's an alert or it's an update. The element name will be same as what we have used in the title. So I'll just copy paste. And we can also have attachments in Hsn template, which can be image, audio, video, document, or a sticker. We can select attachment and then paste attachment URL here and click on submit and send it for approval. So there are a couple of things which with time we have learned. One, that generally if there is any difference in between messages text and the simple messages text, a space or some extra character or something, then it generally doesn't get approved. We have an issue in submitting that. So we always suggest and recommend that type your content here, and whatever you have typed after that, just copy everything and paste it here, and then just replace the variable with the exact content, a simple exact content, which will be like your Hsm template. Uh, Other reason is we have seen that like if the attachments with the URL which you are using, if they are not public, then there is an issue. We are getting to get an approval from Hsm template. We have some of the reasons listed here in our document also. So generally, WhatsApp doesn't share any updates. That why these templates are getting rejected. But there are some recommendations like avoid doing, something like very generic. Try to be, your Hsm template to be personalized. So that's have a good chance of having template approved. Interactive and old beneficiary helps to prove that in template. GCS attachments link should be public, like I said. And we have noticed that if the template message is in English, then all the content should be in English, and if it is in Hindi, it should be in single language, so that it gets approved. If we mix and match Hsm templates like English and Hindi, then there are we have seen there are cases where it got rejected. This is, excuse me, this is a link where they have shared, WhatsApp have shared some of the guidelines that what we should do while submitting an Hsm template and what we should avoid doing that. Right. And once we submit this, then we it generally takes 48 hours. And once we have any Hsm template approved, it shows here as approved link here. And now if there's a requirement, now we want to send this Hsm template to many people from a flow, we can add it in our flows. So I'll just use any flow. And to select an Hsm template in a flow, we click on, we choose send message a contact, and from WhatsApp here, we select the template which we want to send to the user. So in my case, if I take an example, update template. So what I'll do, I'll select update templates. Yes, and the verification code is this. So I will use a variable name, can be contact something, maybe ID. And this is a label if we want to add. So this is how we add Hsm template in a node to use it in a flow. So once we have this, we click OK and we can publish it. And then we can test. the verification code. So the variable I use have some issues, but you see that the HSM template which we have chosen here is got delivered in the simulator. Other than that, we can send HSM template directly to a person from a chat window if we want to send it to someone. So from templates, we can click here from template and select the template which we want to send. Enter the code and click on send. So this is how we can send a template message to a single person. We can also send a nudge message of HSM template to a collection. So if I say search a collection which we already have created, and from here I can select HSM template and send it like from here. So this is says it will only be sent people who have opted in. So who all are in a support collection, everybody will get this message. Right? Any questions?
Mohit, I have a question. So, can an HSM, the message through an HSM template be sent to like a broadcast list? Like, for example, if there are a list of people who have not, like the 24 hours have passed and they've not, responded. And if you want to identify which is this list of people and send like this template to all of them at once, can that be done?
So currently, we can identify how if a person is in HSM, in session window or not from here. But currently, there is no automatic collection of people who are not in session message. So if we can create a collection with all of those who are not opted in and who are not in session, then we can send like I send to a collection from here.
Okay. Otherwise, we have to specify, like manually select the contacts and send.
Yes.
Okay.
We have to manually create a collection because we will not recommend to send one by one to everyone. It's always good to list all the contacts who are not opted in and who are not in session, and then create a collection of all those and send the message at once.
How do we identify the contacts which are not in session?
So if you see this, if you move your mouse on next to the contact's name,
Right.
it says if user is in session message or not, session window or not. Users who are in session windows will be like this. So if you see this Vivek Amola, so he is in session window and only 3 hours is left. After that, it will be look like this.
Okay,
right?
so like how do we group them together?
Sorry, Mohit. So just jump in. Divya, I don't think like probably you're looking for a very simple filter to select all of them, but
Right.
I don't think we have that, and it could be a good addition. And I think I can take it up with the as a feature or so.
Right,
Mohit,
and
it's
like
okay.
my-
I'll take notes. No worries.
Sure.
Okay,
Actually, my only question was like about how to just select a group at one time and just send it.
Yeah, understood. No, that could be helpful. I'll check with the team if we can add it to the roadmap.
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
Any other question regarding HSM templates?
Yeah, so with sending messages in HSM templates through Flow, will occur same charges or there is no charge in the Flow because contact in this session, right?
So yeah, so what happens if you send a HSM template from a flow, people who are in session window, for them it will be charged for session message only, People who are not in session message, for them it will charge for HSM.
Hey, just to also update you all that now there is no session message and HSM pricing, right? It's business initiated conversation versus user initiated conversation pricing. So, I mean, it's still, yeah, okay. So should I go into that? Because now the message pricing is not that way. It's priced as per business initiated conversation. Let me send some resources on that so you can check, check that out. And then we can take a further questions on pricing specifically. Okay, Mohit, because yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah, please.
So I've shared the link. Please go through that, and then we can take up questions on pricing separately. Yeah.
Ravinder, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
You can continue.
Yeah, and we can take this pricing thing separately, as Abhishek said, right?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So if there is no more question on HSM, then we can move to interactive messages. This is launched by WhatsApp, I think, around October or September last year, where we can have buttons responses available rather than text using our flows, and they call it interactive messages. There are broadly two kind of interactive messages. One is list and one is quick reply. It is a little bit similar to the Hsm template, but it's not as it is, because we do not send this for approval for to WhatsApp. So but the forms and the submission type is the same. So we enter the title here, and whatever message we want to share in that message. I'm just taking an example. And we can use reply buttons. You can say hi. Something like that. And similarly, you will see whatever you will be typing here, whatever you'll be constructing your interactive messages, so you will be able to see the message in a simulator, how it will be looking once it will be ready to send. It also can have attachments. So attachment can be of image, it can be a video or a document. And once you create this, then you can click on save. A couple of things to note here. Reply buttons only have maximum 3 options defined by WhatsApp. So we cannot have 4 options here. So the maximum limit is 3 buttons only for quick replies, reply buttons. For list, we can have 10 options available. So you can have 10 different kind of options listed here in list, from where the contact will be able to choose one and send. I'll quickly show a document also for this, so that will be more helpful, and then we can so in the documents you can find all the steps with the screenshot, how to create interactive messages, what will be the title, and for the quick replies, how you can choose a content, how you can choose the buttons which you have, and for the list messages, how it will look like in this example, we have taken an education, and we are checking the person who is 10th pass, 12th pass, a graduation or a post graduation. then similar kind of message will be visible on user screen when they execute the flow, and all the options will be visible like this. So once user select any one of it and click on send, then it will be treated as a response of user, right? And I come back. So once we have interactive messages created, then similarly, like we have used Hsm template, we can add interactive messages in our flows. And to use interactive messages, we just select send the contact and interactive messages from here, and then choose which interactive messages we want to send. And once we select it, it will show us a preview of it. And if you want, you can add a label it, and then it will be visible like this. Some of the NGOs have requested in past couple of weeks that when they click on other languages, they do not see the options of other language and interactive messages, which track team is working on that soon we will be able to see interactive messages of other languages if exist, if we click on other language like other messages, the send messages. And if I simply test this one, click on preview, it will show like this. So in this example, there's one after one interactive messages. So we have created it for some use case. So if I click on this, it will be treated as a user response of this button, and it will move forward. If I click on education, then it will show the options. I select one and click on send, then it will treat the user response as this. Right. Other than that, interactive messages, we can have the interactive messages in the in different languages, like we can have other messages. So by default, it's comes to English, whichever language we have, like English. So you can have a content here, type content, and use the options you have. And then similarly, you can click on Hindi version of it, and then add the content in Hindi and the options. So similarly with all the languages which you have. So once all these versions are created and saved, then whatever language contact has requested his preferred language to communicate, the interactive messages will be sent in that particular language only. Any question regarding interactive messages?
Yeah, Mohit, I have a question again. Actually, I was just working on interactive messages right before this call. I was configuring a flow. So what the kind of content that we need to communicate to the users, the titles are very specific, like, they're long name, long text. And interactive messages, I realize, has a character limit of around 24 characters. So is there any other option through which I had to like shorten the, there are usually 3-4 words. I had to shorten it down to almost like a word. So that was one question, if there's any other option. And the second question I had was, all the interactive messages require us to make a selection of one option. Is there a way by which more than one option can be selected?
Okay. Divya, are you saying the title cannot be that much long?
No, I'm saying the list. Under the list, when I go to write the item, so in that the item name and the description both have a character limit.
Yes, you're right. It has a character limit, but I need to confirm it from tech team. What is the character limit? I'll update you that. But you already said that there's some character limit you have
Yeah,
already
it's
found.
24 characters, I think, and 72 characters for the description. So it was getting a little restrictive for us in certain situations wherein we are not able to shorten the sentence, you know. So I wanted to know if there is any way, any workaround around this.
No, I have a little knowledge about it, about the workaround about it. But yeah, these are the instructions given by the WhatsApp that, you know, the button text can be this much long. I'll check with tech team if there is any workaround, but I have you know, less confidence on this that we will be able to do much on this.
Okay.
Other than that, yes, you are right. We can select either one options from the list or the reply button. There is no way we can select multiple options for that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the restriction from the WhatsApp only. The multiple option is not available right now.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, Abhishek, you're saying something?
Yeah, Divya, can you give a quick example if possible? Like what was that long option?
So Abhishek, it was actually the name of a particular law, and the name of the law is the health data retention policy. So because it's the name of the, if it's actually a law, I can't really shorten it, you know, because that's the legal.
Okay. So can you try experimenting this? You add the law in message, and in the list, just give option one for this, and then map it with the message. So message has one law one, two law two, three law three, and then your list has option one, option two. So people read that and then select from that. See if that works.
That's what I mean, that's what we thought we'll do. We were just trying to avoid having the options in the text form and just directly have it as a interactive message.
Yeah, that's best actually. But okay.
No worries, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, any other question regarding interactive messages?
Yeah, Ravindra has one question.
Yeah, Ravindra, please go ahead.
Yeah, so the interactive messages integrated in the flow. If we updated that message through this tab, interactive message tab, will it auto-update it in the flow, or we need to reselect it by editing the flow?
No, it will be automatically updated in the flow. But yes, I have seen the content shown in the flow does not automatically gets updated. I need to check that when we can update that. So I have seen that a couple of times that if I update the interactive message, that got updated automatically, but the preview here we see it doesn't get updated. So to update this, we have to select that option again and do that. But to answer your questions, it updates itself, Ravindra.
Okay. And that multi-choice question which was asked. So is it possible to add a multi-choice question?
No, you cannot choose multiple options. It's only accepts one response from both the options, from list or quick replies.
Okay.
Any other questions regarding interactive messages? Interactive messages in other languages or interactive messages with attachments?
I don't have a question, Mohit, but is there right now there's no functionality that I could find. Is there like a way for us to make a copy of existing interactive messages so that like if we want to make a minute change, so we'll have to create something from scratch? I couldn't find that option.
Yes, Shweta, you're right.
Shweta, how often do you use it? Sorry, I'm just.
Yeah,
Like how
weekly.
often do you need to use it?
Yeah,
Okay,
we are
every-
doing a quiz via interactive messages. So
Mhm.
every week we like make a copy of existing. Like we would ideally. Right now we are creating something from scratch.
Okay. Okay, understood. Understood. Mohit, you were saying something?
Yeah, means I can remember something. The last time we have got a similar request, so I can remember that while copying in interactive messages, because it is in the different languages also. So if we copy in an interactive message, there are cases there where responses are same, or somehow the responses is not gets updated. So that's why it is not intentionally kept that we can copy an interactive messages. But yes, I will get a specific answer for this, Shweta, that can we do this, or why exactly we are not doing this, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Right. Any other questions regarding interactive messages? Okay, so today we have talked about how we can create messages, HSM messages when people are not in session window, and send them, and then how we can create interactive messages with buttons and use them in flow and use with our contacts. Now there are requirements at some time that we want to schedule to execute a particular flow for a particular set of contacts. And for that, we have a feature called triggers. So triggers are generally schedulers in Glific. So if there is a requirement that we want to, send or execute this particular flow for a particular set of contacts at particular time intervals, then we can use triggers. To create a trigger, just click on the create trigger from here. Select a flow which you want to execute for the contacts. Then you can select, when you want to start the start date of that trigger, the scheduler, and when do you want to end that. Then you can select a particular time, at what time you want to execute that. I'll select something like this, 3:45 p.m. Do you want to repeat this hourly or daily or weekly or once in a month? I'll say weekly. And it will ask that how do you want it on, twice in a week, like a Tuesdays and Thursdays types. You can select it here, and then you can select, the group, the people collection to whom you want to send, and then you have to click on save. What will happen from today till 28th on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3:45 p.m. this particular flow will execute automatically for the people who are part of this collection. Once you click on create, then you can see triggers here in the list. Triggers which are active will be shown like this. Which are completed, it will be grayed out in your list. You can also delete it. You can also make a copy of a trigger if you want. It will automatically select the details, and then you can activate, make it active and use it. And you can create as many as triggers as per your use case. So once that particular time and date comes, then that flow will be executed. Generally, we recommend that the flow we are using in triggers, the first message should be Hsm template, to avoid that if some of the people in the collection are not in session window, then they should also get a message. The first message only should be Hsn template. Once they reply to that message, then the flow will execute because they will be in session window, and the other messages they can respond, and the flow will be executed further.
Mohit, one question here. So what I understand is these kind of trigger messages can be sent as reminders, right? Like in case there is some action which we require to be done before a deadline. And if we are close to that deadline, then on a particular date, we can schedule these trigger messages to go out. Is this the right use case?
Yes.
And in that case, if somebody has not opted in, then we cannot send these trigger messages to them.
Actually, technically you can. So suppose you communicated with your contacts today, and before that you want to just share some to them. Like if I want to share with all of you something, some reminder to be completed before end of day tomorrow. So I can, execute the trigger, and you all will get a message because you are on a platform right now. But yes, generically, because we are not sure that people have communicated and they are in session window, so it should be Hsm template. But if suppose I have some of them are people are active on chatbot, so they will get the message whether it is an Hsm or not if they are in session window.
And do these have a separate pricing?
No. So it trigger actually is a scheduler. You can schedule a flow which can automatically execute without any human intervention at the time and date you want.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. So it sends the same messages, same pricing.
Got it. Thanks.
Any other questions regarding triggers?
We can only schedule a flow, not Hsm messages.
Yeah, no, Ravindra. So you can do one thing. If you want to just send a single message, you can add that Hsm in a flow and use that flow. So we only have flows incorporated in triggers. So like in example, I just want to show you which I have used for today's demo. So it only has one message, right? Excuse me. So like this. So this flow is only having one message, which is Hsm template. So you can use like this and use this flow in a trigger.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mohit, I have a question.
Yes.
For a trigger which is sending a message every day, I understand that in triggers you can't edit the time. If I delete the trigger and if I create a new trigger with the same flow, which is sending daily messages, does that disturb my flow?
If you will create triggers with the same flow and the time will be conflicting, then yes. For your first question, earlier the triggers was editable, and we found one of the NGOs, they edit the time of a trigger, and after that the similar conflicts happen. So because of that, we have stopped the editing of trigger. You can always delete and create a new one with the same flow for the same person if you want to use that. But yes, if you are using same flow with two triggers in a conflicting time, then yes, there can be an issue.
Yeah, so I was asking that if my flow is supposed to send daily messages to someone, and today, say my trigger is at 8 a.m. and I want to stop it and I want to shift it to 10 a.m. for tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
then,
yes. You
then
have
the
to
flow
create
will get, okay.
Yeah, no, the flow will not be disturbed. You have to create another trigger and delete the original one. So we cannot edit the existing triggers.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thanks.
we have detailed documentation also for triggers. If there are any other questions, you can send me on Discord or can have look at this document. It has all the steps with the screenshot, how to create a trigger, how to use a trigger, how to verify it if it is successfully used and sent. Copy a trigger and deactivate a trigger and all. Okay. Any other questions for triggers? Okay. There are two pending questions on. Okay, Abhishek has responded. Right. So, any other questions regarding any other topic other than what we have covered today?
So Mohit, I have a question. Like you have one active trigger in your triggers, like CVS or something. So can I edit that? Like, is it possible? Like, if my trigger is active?
No, we cannot edit that also. So, like I told earlier, Varali, so we had an issue with one of the NGOs. So there was some time and gap of days were defined, and then because of them, some case they modified it, and all the reports and everything got disturbed because of that, and we were not sure how it happened. And lately we just came to know that okay, these triggers were modified, and then we stopped this.
Okay.
You can always copy the trigger and create a new one, and delete the other one if you want to change anything in that, like date, time, or anything.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Hi Mohit, Monica this side. I had a question about interactive messages. Let's say if we are creating interactive message and I created 10 messages, and then we are just waiting for the response. So if let's say a user is answering only 5, so will it move forward or it will wait for all the 10 interactive messages answers?
Monica, generally flows, the building of flows is like you ask a question and then there'll be a wait for response to receive a contact's answer for that.
Right.
So even in interactive messages, if we create 10 interactive messages, the flow design will be like you ask a question in an interactive message and then you
give the waiting time there.
Yes, you wait there for message to respond and then ask another one.
Okay.
So like this, I have executed this. This is the wrong case, right? So actually, it should be like
wait for response and
yes,
then send.
wait for response. Yes. So if and after this response, then there should be another interactive message, and then wait for response, and then another interactive message.
Yeah. Right. Got it. Yeah. I saw this. That's why I asked this question. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. Any other question? Yes, please.
So triggers don't have any limitation, do they? For example, if I have a flow which starts another flow at the end, it has a condition towards the end, and it may start another flow.
Right.
So if I add that flow to the trigger, the complete thing will still work, right? Nested flows will still work.
Yes.
Okay.
It's only scheduled your execution of a flow at a particular date and time. So if there is a flow you have selected which has another flow embedded in it, or you are calling another from it, so it will work as it works in a normal case. It's only triggers the start of that flow at that particular time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, if we do not have any other questions from anyone, we can stop this session right now. Thank you everyone for joining. Hope to see you again next month with a similar session. Please do ping us if there are any specific topics you have in your mind which you want to discuss. I will be happy to address those in these calls. Amit, you say something from Milan?
No, I was just saying thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mohit.
Thank you, Saurav.
Thanks, Mohit. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mohit.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Mohit. Bye.